In the winter of 1897, nestled in rural West Virginia, a young bride was found dead under peculiar circumstances. But this was no common tragedy. This would become the only known case in U.S. history where a ghost allegedly testified in a murder trial. On January 23, 1897, 21-year-old Zona Hester Shue was discovered lifeless at the foot of her staircase by a local boy sent to check on her. Enter her husband, Edward Trout Shue, a blacksmith with a troubled past. When the coroner arrived nearly an hour later, Edward was cradling Zona's stiff body and dressed her in a high-collared gown. He refused anyone else to prepare her, behavior far from the mourning husband's norm. The coroner, bowing to the emotional scene, declared the death an everlasting faint, later amended to childbirth, despite Zona being newlywed and childless. No foul play was suspected. At the funeral, Edward hovered nearby, preventing loved ones from touching the coffin. Peering inside, people noticed Zona's head lay oddly loosened, jolting even to the superstitious. Her mother, Mary Jane Hester, silent about ghosts until now, prayed nightly for a sign. Her plea was answered in a way no one could explain. One night, Zona's spirit appeared at Mary Jane's bedside. At first a glowing shape, then fully formed, pale, dressed in the gown she died in. She told a chilling story. "He strangled me," she whispered. "He snapped my neck between the first and second vertebrae, and for proof, the ghost slowly turned her head unnaturally backward." Before the visits, Mary Jane tested a linen sheet from the coffin. When submerged, it bled red then turned pink, staining the water like fresh blood, a final sign that something was horribly wrong. Resting herself from grief, Mary Jane marched to prosecutor John Preston and detailed her ghostly encounters hour by hour. Though skeptical, Preston dug deeper. Neighbors had also noticed Edward's odd behavior. On February 22nd, Zona's body was exhumed and taken to a one-room schoolhouse. Dr. Knapp and assistants inspected her neck. The ghost had spoken the truth. Inside, they found a broken neck, crushed windpipe, ruptured ligaments, and finger-shaped bruises, exactly as Zona's ghost described. Edward protested, boasting that "they won't prove I did it." But investigators uncovered a violent past. A first divorce for cruelty, a second wife who died mysteriously, and his admission to wanting 7 wives. During the June trial, Mary Jane recounted every visitation and chills. The defense tried to brand her as unstable, but her resolve carried weight. The jury deliberated just 1 hour and 10 minutes. He was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life. Angry townsfolk even formed a lynch mob, but law enforcement intervened and justice stayed within the system. Edward Trout Shue died in prison in 1900. Zona rests in Soul Chapel Cemetery, her grave marked. Her story immortalized by a roadside plaque calling it the only known case in which testimony from a ghost helped convict a murderer. Truth, justice, and whispers from the beyond. Did Zona really come back to speak from her grave? Or was this the determined intuition of a grieving mother, cloaked in superstition? You be the judge.